Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to me and this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's kind of what's going to be happening today. But if you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So normally I would just sit on my floor and talk about books, but because this video is my 2024 goals wrap up and stats video, we're talking some numbers. Numbers, people, because I keep a little spreadsheet of all my reading statistics, and since I haven't broadcast any of them the entirety of this year because I didn't do a single quarterly wrap up, it's all coming to you right now. So if you'd like to find out what my numbers look like and how I did on my 2024 reading goals, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get to looking at these numbers. I might need something a little stronger than this. All right. So, for starters, my 2024 goals video will actually be linked here in the corner if you want to go back and refresh yourself when I was all excited and cheerful and excited to try new things and all this other stuff. And then you can come back to here and see my smile go, judge me if you want. It was a weird fucking year, guys. I read middle grade. I read young adult. I didn't read a single thing in 1 month. I didn't post anything in 1 month. I went through some reading slumps, went through some weird depression shit, but I'm still here. I'm still kicking, and I got some numbers that truthfully aren't the worst. They aren't the worst thing in the world, okay? So let's just get right down to it. So for starters, let's do the stats, okay? Let's just get that out of the way because they're the stats. So the total number of books that I read this year, this includes audiobooks and my Kindles and all physical books, was 75. 75 books. One of those books was a reread. So 74 books that were brand new to me. Not horrible. Not my goal, but not horrible. Of those 75 books, I read 18,990 pages. Again, not horrible, because I had some big motherfuckers on this list. This bastard was one of them. Okay? Where are you? This bastard was one of them. Okay? I had some really thick, chunky books, okay? So I had some chunkers. I also had some heavier literature, so I'm not upset that 18,990 pages. I'm not upset by it. My hours listened, these are all my audiobooks included, were 163 hours and 42 minutes. I don't even want to do the math to figure out how many days straight that was. But I do know that my reread was Empire the Vampire, and I listened to it on audio. So that's a big, huge chunk right there. Let's just be honest about that. I'm just going to say that right now, okay? My star ratings are as follows. I had 4 5 stars, 3 4.5 stars, 13 4 stars, 14 3.5 stars, 32 3 stars, 2.5, 2 2.5 stars, 2 2 stars, had no 1.5 stars, no 1 stars, no 0 stars, and I had 4 DNF'd books. I DNF'd the books this year, guys. DNF'd 4. And one of them was only DNF'd one of them was DNF because I just wasn't feeling it. So it's not that I'm not ever going to finish it. I'm just not going to finish it this year. So for this year's stats, it is a DNF. So I'm not super upset about that. I am not. I'm not super upset. Now, for my goals. Let's just get into this one. Okay. So my first goal was my good reading goal of 100 books. Well, we already know I did not complete that. I completed 2/3 or 3/4 of that because I read 75 books. So, I did not reach my goal. So my Goodreads goal for next year is actually staying the same of 100 books. So there's that. I am kind of bummed by this. I am. I know I can do better than this. And I know that my slumps really hit and hurt that goal a lot. But sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. It does annoy me. I am going to try harder next year because I would like to read 100 books. I think that's really cool to say. I read 100 books last year. But still, 75 books is not bad. All right? When there's some years in my past that I didn't read shit. So, like, not horrible. It's not my best, but it's not my worst either. So, I had another goal of wanting to write more written reviews on Goodreads, and I am very ashamed to say that I wrote none. I didn't write a single one. Except on a DNF'd book. Because I wrote I DNF'd it. That's the only thing I wrote, was I DNF'd this. That was my written review. So I made this another goal for next year to get better about this, but I do have a plan for it to actually like get on it. But yeah, I didn't write a single review. My third goal was the Mount Everest challenge. It was one of my challenges to myself. And this is a challenge I do all the time. And what it is essentially you try to read down your physical TBR. And every single mountain peak in the world is matched up with the equivalent of a certain number of books that you have to read off your physical TBR that were owned prior to the start of that year. So I had to read so many books prior to the start of 2024. And the mountain I chose was Mount Vancouver, which was just 36 books. I read 31. No, I did not reach my goal, but that's pretty damn fucking good because the year prior, I didn't get anywhere close to it. So I'm going to take this as a win. Just, it's not, but I'm going to take it as a fucking win. Okay, guys? I'm going to take it as a win. This is another goal another challenge that I'm participating in as well next year. And I have kept it at 36 since obviously I didn't reach it. So I'm not going to try to bypass it. Now, also, mind you, this is just physical books. This does not include any audiobooks that were in my cart prior to the start of 2024 or any books on my Kindle prior to the start of 2024. This is just physical books on my shelf. And so, again, I'm still counting this as a win. And some of these books, they were great. Some of them were awesome and they've been on my shelf for quite a long time. I have one of them that's been on there since 2016. So I feel, good that I was getting some of those older guys off my shelf and some of these big bastards off my shelf, okay? I was happy about that. So I'm going to take this win. I'm going to take it. I had a list of 12 must read in 2024, and I am not going to lie to you. I did not read all 12 books. I completed 58% of this by reading 7 books. And I do have a full video that is currently out, and I will link it up here. So you can go check it out, and you can find out the books that I read, what I thought about them, my scores, and all that jazz. So I go into more depth there with that video. So, I'm a little upset about not completing the list, but I say in that video that it kind of put this unadded guilt pressure on me, and I wasn't really a fan of that because some of these books I want to sit down and really enjoy, and being almost forced to read it when I'm not ready for it doesn't help. And I feel like some of these book scores kind of showed that, along with some of the ones I didn't pick up, because I want to enjoy these books. I want to have a good time with these, and putting them specific books I have to read on a list just sometimes, does it work? Absolutely. It kind of gives you some kind of guide to it, but for me, it also kind of hindered me a little bit. So this is something that I don't know if I'm going to continue with. Again, at least not next year. I don't have a list of books that I need to read next year. So Yeah. The next challenge I took part in was the 52 Book Club in 2024 challenge. This was put on by the 52 Book Club, and this is just 52 prompts that you have to find books to match up. And I was going to do a wrap-up video each month. I did a grand total of 1. Okay, I did a grand total of 1 because I found that some months we're going to have 1 book, some months we're going to have any, and it just wasn't really a productive recommendation video for me, I guess. So I'm still participating in the 52 Book Club Challenge next year, but I think I'm going to be doing just more quarterly wraps on it, so at least there's some actual material to talk about. But this challenge, I did not 100% complete. I completed 65% of this challenge. Some of these prompts I didn't even get to. Like, I didn't even come close to touching. But I was successful that I didn't double up. All the books that I read for this challenge only served 1 prompt. Could I have completed more if I doubled up? Absolutely. But my goal was to not double up on these. So 65% done. Is it good? No. Is it bad? Yes. Am I upset about it? Not really. Not really, because the prompts that I didn't get to were ones that I don't want to say wouldn't have cared about the books, but they weren't on my radar to look for. Like, one of the prompts is a book that was nominated for the Booker Prize. I don't pick books based off of their awards. I pick books based off cover, based off hearsay, based off if I've read the author before. Hell, I pick books just because it's blue. Okay? Like, I couldn't tell you sometimes why I picked some of the books that I pick. But I never went out of my way to find a book that's won an award unless it was to serve some kind of prompt. This is not something like a goal that I ever look forward to. And maybe I'm missing out on some really good books. I don't know. But there are books that have won awards that I didn't even know existed awards. And I'm like, these are fantastic. No wonder they won an award. Have no idea what this award is or what it stands for, so that's cool. So, some of these prompts just didn't really jive with me. And there was another one, find a book with a woman in STEM. I literally have 1 book that would have met this challenge, and I already read it. And I didn't want to reread it. I read it last year and I wasn't ready for a reread of it. Is it fantastic? Yeah. Was it 5 stars? Fuck yeah. But I'm not going to reread a book just to meet a challenge. And I wasn't, some of these books were not on my radar. Some of these prompts were just not on my radar, and I wasn't going to go digging towards the end because I wasn't in the mood to read a sci-fi book at Christmas. I just wasn't. Okay? Just be honest. So I am still continuing with this challenge because the prompts for the 52 Book Club in 2025, I really liked. I liked a lot of them, a lot more than I liked these. There's more of these prompts that fit more of my kind of criteria for looking for books. So I think that one, I'll have better results next year. So there we go. I did do a TBR recommendation jar this year. I did one. I'll link the video here. I drew a couple books, but I only ended up doing 1 review, and I do apologize. This is probably the one that I feel the shittiest about because this one directly involves you guys. And you take the time to write these recommendations, and when I don't do it, it kind of has you lose faith in me, and I am sorry for that. I am sorry. There is no excuse for it. There is not, and all I can say is I'll try to do better next year because I am still doing the TBR recommendation jar. There's still a TBR book rec form in the down box below, so please fill it out. It's not going to be a automatic go-to every single month like it was, but I do feel genuinely bad about this. So I hope to do better next year for you guys because I know you took the time to recommend these books, and I want to find a book that I love, that you love. I had a great experience in 2023 with this recommendation jar. I found some of my favorite books, some great books because you guys get me. And I know in that jar, there are some great fucking books. And I do want to try this again and give it another shot. So I do apologize for that immensely. But to the person that I did, I wasn't the biggest fan of that book, but I did listen to an audio, so I'm not giving up on that series. I am not giving up on that series. So if you're watching this, it's still on my radar. I still plan on reading the second installment. The only one I did was To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah Parker. Don't quote me on the author. But that was the book I did, and I wasn't a huge fan because I listened to an audiobook. But I plan on continuing with the rest of the series in a physical reading format, because I have found that if I don't like the audiobook, if I read it physically, I tend to enjoy it better because the audiobook just got in the way in that time. So congratulations, you're the only one I did. Congratulations. But I do feel genuinely bad for all the rest of you guys who did put recommendations in my jar. So please continue to do it. I do plan on continuing with it. It fell through the cracks. It fell through the wayside, and I'm sorry that was a thing that fell because it's directly involved with you guys, and you guys mean the world to me. I mean, you're the reason why I'm still doing this. Because let's be honest, I like hearing myself talk. Don't get me wrong, I do. But my husband and daughter are tired of hearing me talk, and you guys apparently are not. So that's awesome. Thanks. Thanks for liking me. I appreciate it. But those were all my 2024 goals and my standings. Yeah, I did not do very well. Out of all of these, I only had kind of one close to a win, and that's really stretching it. However, I do want to point out that I gave 4 5 stars. So I do give 5 stars, Becky. My book club gives me shit all the time because I'm so stingy with my 5 stars. Because 5 stars are badass books, okay? They're up there. They're untouchable, okay? Okay? Leave my ranking system alone. I did give 4 5 stars this year. I did. It's far less than I gave last year. And the year before. I'm getting stingier in my old age. But that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this. Please do go check out my 2025 goals video. It's already out, and I'll link it here so you can see what's coming up and what I hope to work on in 2025. I hope to, at the end of 2025, have much, much better numbers than these for you guys to look at, for sure. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you had a great 2024, and fingers crossed that 2025 is 10 times better than 2024 ever thought it could be. I mean, we are a quarter of a century done with 2000s. Like, seriously, what? Quarter of a century. Shit. So, yeah, I hope you guys all have a safe and happy new year, and I will see you guys in 2025. Bye, guys.